Hey, hi. So, hope you enjoyed everything first and foremost. It took a while. I'm really sad to see this go. Despite this being my second run of Avernus, it was definitely progressive. A lot happened that definitely didn't happen in the first one, and I was allowed to explore more stuff, which is great. The players were amazing, so much so they're coming back next year for Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, well, I've been prepping that in the background. We finished quite a while ago, and I've just been doing nothing but prep work since, just so that way they can get a great module. Because I've never played this module before as a DM. I played a little bit as a player, but I wanted to really give them something fun and let them just stew in their characters and see where we can go from there. So we've got a 2024 rule set campaign coming, which is going to be amazing. I've been mapping things out a little, and it'll come. Okay, it's all I can say is it will come. However, we're gonna start really soon. So I've done a lot of prep work. There's gonna be some prelude stuff done to get everybody together, and for that, due to that and the fact I keep a bit of a forward schedule, so that way I can accommodate for people who maybe just can't make it and we not be able to play for a session. We're going to be 10 weeks in front as per the norm. What that means is, technically speaking, session 1 won't be live until April 1st. I'm sorry? So, I'll give you the breakdown right now. On the 14th of January, I'm going to do Group 1's Prelude. Then the week afterwards, I'm going to do Group 2's Prelude. These two preludes are going to become a singular session, rather than having, 6 people sit and half people play and half people watch. And then, rather than that, I'll do 2 short sessions, merge it into one. If I need to, I will run 2, put myself 11 episodes in front. From there, the week after that, 28th, I believe it is, from there it's just session after session after session after session after session. And they'll go up, they'll go live, and we'll be good to go from there. You'll see it happening. I'll take a week off in July, so I'm already accounting for that, giving us 9 episodes plus anything else that may come up to other people's jobs. So, where does that leave us right now, and what's the purpose of this video? Well, the purpose of this video is fairly simple, actually. Back when I brought this campaign forward to the guys, I didn't tell them what campaign we were going to do next. I simply told them to make me a level 1 character with no expectation. Just a level 1 character, 2024 rule set, use expanded rules if you wish. Didn't tell them the campaign, didn't tell them anything that was going on. Just said, make this character, send me the sheet. I gave them the D&D Beyond link, it was just called campaign. And I got 6 very interesting characters, to which then I started giving them little, tidbits here and there. Oh yeah, this campaign is going to be an absolute march. Oh, it's going to be so long. Yeah, we're going to be crawling all the way through it. And it wasn't until I had said to them that the only thing we're not going to take from 2024 is the exhaustion, because I feel the 5e exhaustion was better here. So it was when I gave that little tidbit that Tom turned around and said, I think we're going to do Tomb of Annihilation, which, well, we are. So for it, once everybody had like characters and they were all discussing it, they got into their own little cliques and such, and I've got one side of I can't explain it. I can't explain it, but when you see it, it'll all make sense. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you the session 0. This is the rule sets and such. So you can know where we're going with this. If you are one of the players in this game and you kind of need a rule refresher on something, you just want to check it, go ahead. It's there. But yeah, we're going to start as soon as possible, and you'll see session 1 on April 1st. We're also bringing back the shorts as well, so you will get the odd tidbits of shorts here and there, but they will not be in any chronological order. So I'm gonna have like 100 shorts hyperbolically, and I'm just gonna start putting them out there. There's gonna be absolutely no campaign spoilers. It's just gonna be, this is a funny thing, this is a funny thing, this is a funny thing. Here you go. It'll be on here. It'll be on TikTok. So hopefully you're following, and hopefully you enjoy. Yeah, let's get it. Now that my internet is fucking working,
That's out.
I am sharing this on with the other account because it lags a ton of stuff. So if you cannot see, let me know. But it is screen sharing, the same thing that I'll be clicking through the entire time. So all of my screens have what is essentially this PowerPoint presentation right now. It's some corporate shit right here. It's some corporate shit right here, buddy.
Man, this is a really weird TED Talk.
So, about players. So, and I'm just going to put this call it to
We have like a ban phase beforehand where we can take turns banning somebody. Whoever gets the most votes just get out.
You are tonight's biggest
I
loser.
vote Matthew.
Can't vote me.
I vote myself. I vote for myself.
So, we're going to go through basically all 2 slides that we managed to get through last time. Because, you know, that was fun. That took 40 minutes to go through 2 slides. Don't think it'll take that long this time. So, as per last time, Tomb of Annihilation, fuck liches, get money. Really wanted to change that. Couldn't be bothered. Again, topics of discussion are very simple. A little overview of lines and veils.
I don't see the.
I am a genius.
We're just looking at a mouth and Sarah, right?
Which I don't mind, but
Oh, there we go.
Topic is a brief overview of lines and vials.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. You know what it is? I need to do 2 separate minimizations. There we go.
Oh, yeah, we were allowed to have racism.
Oh, you wish. What can I do for you, barring show up every week? That's the bare minimum, but you know. What I'd like from you is bar your love and support, because, you know, that's all it really means in the end of the day. And once again, is a calzone truly a sandwich? These are very simple and, you know, easy enough questions. So, we'll go over the lines and veils once more, because again, themes and age ratings, it all differs. But we try to keep things consistent here. A nice BBFC 15. That one word in Dutch that I can't say, 16. And the MPAA restricted. These all also have like different movies that don't quite correlate, but we get an idea, you know? So, once again, I guess where we roughly got to was the horror side of things. Yep, he's a minute. Fucking pizza, of course. So again, all the things we can do agree on. You know, a few things that people said no to: child harm. I don't think children are going to come up here. I'll be honest. I don't see anything in regards to them in the module, and I don't see how they could possibly come up unless I put them in there, and they have no place for this.
Child-shaped bomb.
Only you would think of that. Here are the results, the things that I was okay and not okay with. I said, give me a minute! No! Every time I do a session of something.
just
What's
for
up?
context, child harm only refers to harming children, right? Not children harming us.
We're just not having kids in here in general.
Kids don't exist. People just spawn mature.
Just hatch from fucking eggs.
Yeah,
It's like Minecraft.
like
What
if
is
you
the character to get
When
pregnant?
you say we're not having children, are you referring to us as incels or?
no, as
You can refer to yourself as whatever you want, like, you have a girlfriend, or so you say.
So I say.
But, given this is going to be the jungle, expect bugs, rats, spiders, that type of thing. I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum when it comes to the creepy crawlies, because that shit makes my blood crawl. Bloody condition's a thing, so I will be, describing things as bloodied may give you dark, more detailed descriptions depending on how fucked up something gets. Demons and devils, we've just done a whole module about those, so if you've got any issues, I somehow don't think you have issues. And as I've said, child harm won't come up, so don't worry. Now, I've got to push a lot of things really quickly. We agree on many things, but disagreed on one, and it'll never come up. We've got this beautiful UNT here. We're speeding through the stuff that we have done. I'm clicking between screen and screen and screen, and speeding. So relationships, there was a nice little maturely handled relationship between two people. It was what we would call a slow burner and then some, but you know, it paid off in the end. This time round, people were roughly the same. Veil a lot of things. There will be absolutely, you know, no sexual shit in this. Just, you know, that will just straight, we will go elsewhere. Yous two can take it out in DMs as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah. Everybody was like veil the explicit. We're just gonna like fade. We're gonna fade and that's it. You know, once it gets too graphic. Once it goes past that 17 rating.
They can hold hands.
Pretty much, yeah, you can hold your hands. Give each other a little kiss here and there. Barring that, this is kind of how I feel about sex and such. Go nuts and be cringe all yous want with each other. I don't mind.
Can we have Canon and Prague, or is that off the table?
That's definitely off the table.
Are you a ball spawn?
Wait,
So-
if it's off the table, is it like somewhere else, like on the ground or on the bed? I don't know.
Every time you open your mouth, I take a D4 psychic damage box. Every time.
I aim to make it a D6 at least.
Your bardic inspiration level's got to go up a bit first. Yeah, whilst most of these topics won't come up, in-world racism is something that's tolerable in certain places. Sexism and homophobia just won't come up. Like, there's no reason your character's sexuality is going to play a factor in anything, as far as I see it. You know, people might not like elves, that may be written into it. People might not like tieflings, such as Gark. Fucking hates them. Got a whole 50-odd sessions, 60-odd sessions that shows you just how much he hates tieflings. It was a character trait throughout all of his characters.
He also did not like Warforged.
Bit of elven superiority there.
Well, he was a tiefling himself.
Uh-uh.
That's some internalized racism when I think about it.
Well, to say, any abuse directed to anybody over the table, like, at the person, you're gone.
Yo.
Like, we align in many things. There are things that won't show up, real world politics being one of them. Like, we're just... have a joke about it, but if you start falling out about it, then, you know, it's game over there. Now, this one here... This one here.
Sorry.
None of this will come up. It's there. I said none of it. Some of it will come up. Quite an awful lot of it, however, won't. Cancer just ain't going to come up because D&D. You know, Greater Restoration will sort that one out. Pregnancy issues won't come up. Self-harm is not something I see because I don't see, like, you know, Pepsi sitting there at camp going, "Oh, my life, up the road for results." If spells require some sort of blood component, I will imagine you have it. If you play that one subclass that requires you to cut yourself, we'll just take the piss out of you. We will. It'll be hilarious. Sexual assault will just never come up. Terrorism. Like, I mean, technically the BBEG's a terrorist when you think about this plot hook. You know.
If the players play it right enough, they can be one as well.
Genocide is something that could come up in a racial sense with certain races you may bump into, but it won't be something they're actively doing, just something they're talking about. Gaslighting, if I know how to do it, then potentially, but I don't know how to do it. Use gaslight me. Let's be
You're
honest.
crazy. You know how to gaslight somebody.
You know how to gaslight people.
Pretend you don't know. Okay? You're just acting weird. You know how to gaslight
Session
somebody.
2 of Avernus.
For here, heat stroke, natural disaster, that's definitely a possibility here. Jungles and temperate climates. There's some stuff in this beautiful DM screen that we'll go over soon. That could come up. As well as that, severe weather. starvation and dehydration will come up, we will be tracking resources for this one.
Severe weather is completely yes. Interesting. I would have expected Quinn to say Vale because it sounds
Nah, he is Floridian. That is just,
It's the
That's
natural
the
It's
same
to be
state of things.
expected.
like
Give me a
tornadoes
sec.
is how you would describe stroopwafels.
Grab some stuff downstairs.
That just feels like home. I also love how claustrophobia is worse than genocide.
Look, genocide, that can pass, but I draw the line at enclosed spaces.
Genocide is my favorite.
Okay, calm down there, German speaker.
Okay. You see the Germans coming out of it.
So, Vox, is your ASMR going to have a German accent and a superiority complex?
Hey, we're putting out one of those things.
This time I
Superiority
will hate
complex?
the little people, the dwarves and hobbits or whatever, halflings. Anything else than the little ones is fine.
Oh, so theme and style. See, we got further than last time. So this is where I'm gonna go over some things that seem a bit, I don't want to say assy in any way, shape, or form, but may seem demanding in certain places.
I want to see similar roleplay.
I would
like
see some roleplay.
I would
everything.
see similar.
Everything from Avernus was fucking perfect. It was I'll say it now. Firstly, best game I've had and ran. Secondly, best group.
Yay!
And for the most part, this is a first-time group. I've played some games with Gark. I played alongside Tom. I've played alongside and played for Ruby. Pepsi, you're brand new. Don't know you. Box, same thing. But it just worked, man. There were 20 and 30-minute periods where I said nothing and you guys just went for it. It was...
And who is your favorite?
Win.
Quinn. He's not here, that's why.
My dog, every time you were talking, she'd come in and she'd be like, are they doing the thing again? Oh, pet me.
And who is your least favorite?
Fox.
Yeah.
Also fair enough.
Oh, I'm coming in with an artificer, guys. Oh, by the way, I'm going to slow combat down to a grinding fucking halt, guys.
I haven't seen his warlock.
Are you asking me to play a necromancer wizard?
No, you're only allowed to play a champion fighter.
A battle master would give you analysis paralysis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Champion fighter. You hit things, nothing else.
Everything I will say in Avernus was great. Everybody seems to say that the right notes were hit for them, barring one person. Barring one person who thought his character could have went a bit further. But everybody else seems to disagree, so that's on you. And that one person that wrote "I am Groot" for every answer, which I initially thought was you, Pepsi. I initially thought that
was not
was you.
me.
It was not you, no. It was Jack. But I thought it was you. It seemed like a you thing to do. Even Ruby thought it was you. Yeah. For it, because of the way this game is, it's a big ass hex scroll. It is. And I bought a DM screen because this is all just every table that I will need to use whilst running this game. They're all at the back of the book. So there'll be a lot of times where I am consulting the table. So it's going to be on you.
The ancient tomes.
It's going to be on you to keep yourselves entertained whilst I'm looking at fuck, what's going on here? Now I need to set up a scene because I've got a bunch of battle maps, but at any given point, one battle map could have a shit ton of apes, or a few dead people, some flaming fist, some rare plants, or a fucking T-Rex.
Ooh.
So,
I know you're about to say harass.
like, I'm gonna have to prep those on the fly, and that's gonna take a minute for me to like look and see what's on there. So, you know, you guys are gonna be very good friends by the end of this. Hopefully.
We fucking hate each other.
Or both.
Yeah.
Isn't it already both?
Yeah, because
So-
I hate you, Fox, but that's beside the point.
So this one was one because inspiration's a thing. Okay, I don't have any humans, but if someone dies and you come in with a human, inspiration's going to be a thing. So this comes mainly from Tom, by the way. People will be given inspiration, but you have to vie for someone else that isn't you to get that inspiration. And the same way that Tom was like, you know, when, for example, Tom, that was a really good scene, I think they should get inspiration, you know?
Yeah.
So I've got 3 D20s I'll give out at the end of a session. They will only be usable during the next session.
Wait, is it inspiration like...
Reroll a D20.
Or... Yeah.
This is 2024 campaign, so 2024 rules. It's going to be similar to like Icewind Dale the other night there. There'll be a lot of looking at the book initially.
No, because heroic inspiration in 2024 is a D12 you can add like a bardic inspiration, no?
Oh!
You haven't read that?
Oh, no. Never mind then. You shall all get 3 D12s instead. Either way, it's still something. You know,
Heroic.
it's not going to be based on shorts or anything, because some people were just naturally funnier in certain places. So there will still be shorts, but the inspiration won't be based off of that. That'll just be a good way for us to remember the good times. The good old times. As per usual, voices, accents, and webcams are not a prerequisite. Like, you be comfortable however you want. That's perfectly fine. If you feel comfortable with that, if you want to go ahead with that, do it. We will, however, relentlessly mock you as we have previously, because that's just how we are.
I am going to apologise for my attempt at an accent.
Don't apologise. You know,
You haven't heard it yet.
that's okay.
We'll mock you. Don't
We'll
worry.
mock you. We'll mock you
Don't
relentlessly.
apologize.
All I can do
Don't
is
apologize. We will be worse about it than you have.
We'll be worse than whatever you'll feel bad about.
Yeah.
all I can do is the lower voice. Otherwise, it's going to be inconsistent.
Yeah,
Do
no.
it German
That was
accent.
voice easy peasy.
He's doing it right now.
I can,
No, but like a
I can do the voices I did
thicker
in
German accent.
Evil's Ruin or whatever. Eye of Ruin.
The evil root. That was scary.
Bro, the dragon. That was fucked up.
The fact that people are like, what's he saying? Is like, I think he said this.
Where are the...
I've started
Well-
doing a thing where if someone doesn't understand me, then that's their issue.
I've done that as well. Turns out
What
people
did you
don't like it when Scottish people don't talk normal to them. Yeah, as I said, as long as you're comfortable, we are fine. Tone. This is where things become real fun because we had a good tone. I like to keep things cinematic in certain ways. You know, the way I described like the camera. You know, keep it cheesy, like 80s action movie cheesy, because again, we're here for a good laugh. And if you've ever seen like a dumb B movie or like a really crappy 80s action TV show or film where it's just dumb stuff, I like dumb stuff. We all like a bit of dumb stuff, and I mean, again, I cannot stress enough that most of this campaign is a marching game until you find something of interest. So let's try find some interesting stuff or be the interesting stuff.
Oh, no, dude.
It is going to be a bit gritty and real, so I'm going to describe things in sort of like special with like Gark's character, for example. You know, things described like that will be a bit, hello Meg, we were speaking of you, a bit, you know, squirmy. You get away from that fucking pizza right now. But at the same time, you know, the absolutely dumb side comments, you know, the way we took the piss out of everything. Really serious point happens in Avernus, and it's like, oh yeah, but look at this dumb thing that happens at the same time. You know, let's not take ourselves seriously, I suppose, is what I'm trying to convey with all these little points. You know, good example is the map short. Like, it's the perfect example of just how dumb something was that worked out so well.
And added a coffee stain to an actual map.
Yeah. To be fair, I still
was
believe
amazing.
Rupert was holding it upside down.
Like, it's the greatest short we ever had, I'll say that now. Or, like, the wedding, all this serious stuff goes on, and we're describing how, like, the little cairn made for smiles is slowly deteriorating. Yeah, Corby buried Smiles, and then right next to it, Rupert and Farswell get married. So, Smiles attended the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
That was amazing.
Like,
I like to imagine that that's now like an Elvis chapel in Vegas, just in the middle of the Venice now. Some demon took up residence there and now does weddings for
dresses
demand
as
there.
Smiles.
The old Smiles' ghost could be the Elvis impersonator who comes out and sings.
Yeah.
Do tieflings die, or do they go back to hell?
Did what?
Do tieflings die, or do they go back to hell?
They died.
We die.
They aren't-
Oh,
They go to wherever plane their soul belongs to.
yeah, 9 hells,
soul?
right?
Aren't they like gingers?
No. Only if they're like packed into a devil or particularly evil.
Well, yeah. I mean, all tieflings are evil, aren't they?
Oh, there we go again.
Okay.
There we go again. But yeah,
Oh shit.
on a comment on it, you know, that's the whole chemistry here. The dumb, casual, and funny.
And
Yeah.
I
racism.
could call that casual, but alright.
So the overall theme of this campaign, from what I've read of the book, is kind of heroic. You're stopping something that's essentially, technically, gonna end the world if it has its own way. Unlike Eve of Ruin and Avernus, like, don't expect alignments to shift unless that's something you're wanting to do. Like, if you're a chaotic good character at session 1 by the final session, provided it's still the same character, you're going to be chaotic good. Like, your alignment won't shift. So, you know, you're setting out to stop a curse. There's your heroic part there. And whatever you're doing between that, that's your journey. If you wish to become an evil person on your journey, if you think about what's going on and go, you know, that Cererak guy, he has a point. You probably want to keep that to yourself, but make me aware. Just so I know. You have like your own little hero's journey. There just happens to be 5 other idiots following you on a similar journey. And I have nothing else for this. I specifically added that point to make this point. I am smart. So instead I added in a fun fact. Did you know that the fun fact is the red panda is more closely related to the raccoon than the giant panda? I know that because I like red pandas.
Banana.
You look like you like red pandas.
I would be slighted, but like, I take that as a compliment. So, now the extra fun bit is, this here right now is a little, we'll call it an open forum, a midway point. Are there any questions that anybody has in regards to anything discussed so far that you feel I should know, you feel you want to bring up? I wrote a heading, so like, you know, by all means.
A question on the inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing of getting inspiration completely follows the rules, right?
What do you mean by that, firstly?
Considering my background, or the background of Ishvaret.
Oh, you're going to make me pronounce that name, aren't you?
Oh god.
Yes.
Everyone else is going to so thank me when you look at Gart's and Vox's character names and try and pronounce them. Mine is so simple in comparison.
Mine is pretty alright if
still
you
the same
speak
from last-
Gaelic by any chance.
I'm pretty sure
Oh, that
I can
language
speak
that no one
Gaelic.
does?
Gaelic's
Rupert, no.
actual term is
No.
tongue twister.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Everyone was talking through each other.
Felix's natural speaking version is just tongue twister.
I'm just checking your background in that right now. This is a 2024 background.
Yes.
Okay, checking here.
Right, I get it.
Okay.
By the way, Scott, you never sent me the anime artwork that you made for Chloe.
No, I did.
My character is.
Well, you did.
Amber.
You sent me the Mid-Journey prompt, and then we had a discussion about it, and then that was it.
I've been sending you images the entire time.
Yeah, but like the four, I wasn't allowed to use the one that I wanted to use.
Because the one that you wanted to use was horrendous to... Like, it wasn't horrendous art.
Alright, wait, hold on.
It was... It was horrendous to look at.
I'm gonna grab it real quick. I'm gonna show it to
We
the other
have your
people.
face every week, so
I'm scared.
who are you to judge?
I have a Discord message request right now.
Oh
From...
God.
There you go.
Oh, it's cool.
Just this was the other variant that I wanted, which is fairly similar.
To which I said, how is that motherfucker seeing with his eyes covered in bandages and he doesn't have blind sight?
One of the eyes is open.
I think I can see an eye in that bandage.
I can't.
Also, Scott, you didn't bring up that point earlier.
No,
You
I
just
fucking did. I said, how does he see?
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I made that a very particular. How does he see?
All right. Then
Vox, what's the
this-
thing in your
this
background
one.
you're on about, by the way? Because I'm looking here and I don't see it per se.
all three
musician-
of these have at
musician
least
feet.
one eye open, so all three of these can see.
The musician feet.
Page 201.
I'm on D&D Beyond looking at your background right now, and your background's entertainer.
Yeah, and the feat that goes with that is musician. Give
You-
when you finish a
You
long
never
short
talked
rest,
about how can he see.
inspiration on short or long rest
Oops.
to other people, to other players, or other characters rather, not players.
I would say then, similar to the inspiration rules that we're using, that's going to be, for that session, the use it or lose it on that session, or if the rules change. You know, if that says over a period of time. But I'd say it has to be used on that session, and it can't be given to anybody that already has an inspiration.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
So,
but it does apply. Okay,
on
that was the question.
short rest and long, not given to anyone who has prior. Lasts one session.
And if we have a rest, like a short rest or long rest at the end of a session, then I assume it counts for the next session, right? Not for the half minute after.
Yeah, that's one of those points where it would go over there.
Okay, perfect.
And then it's like here, checking here. Here's what if you have player heroic inspiration, you can spend it. Oh, of course, the glossary is very. Ruby, you sent me the rules glossary for inspiration,
Yes.
and so taking a look here, heroic inspiration. If you, a player character, have heroic inspiration, you can spend it to reroll any die immediately after rolling it. There's nothing about D12s.
No, I misremembered. I believe there might have been like a idea about D12s or some shit.
I'll double check it to be safe. So it'll either be a D12 add or a D20. I'll double check the rulings on it at the end, and I'll get back to use on that one there. Gark, as I said about your character, fucking nightmare fuel.
You said Leatherface.
That's fucking nightmare fuel. That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a horror movie that got fucking banned.
It's a family movie.
Who's your fucking family? The Mansons.
They're all one big family.
Isn't it about
Leatherface
the
is just
family?
protecting his parents.
Who's your family? Go on.
Look, I just rather have a realistic depiction of the character instead of some anime fuckboy. But that is me. Although I can understand that the image might provoke Twitch's terms and services.
I mean, that provokes my terms of services. That churns my stomach.
The shit you eat, you'd have a stomach lined with fucking steel, mate.
Except I'll have you know right now, I've got a pepperoni pizza and that's it.
And that's what I mean, you fat lard.
You sent me a photo of you looking at a doner lovingly before I imagined it was demolished in one bite.
Look, that kebab was fucking heavenly.
Yeah, for the whole 5 minutes it was in your mouth.
No.
Oh, Luke, it sounds
I
like
didn't
it lasted
even
longer than
chew.
you,
I was like Homer
Matthew.
Simpson in that shit. I just inhaled it. And then I ordered a second one.
You're not disproving my point.
I'm not trying to. I'm agreeing with you.
Anybody get any other questions before I cry a little?
No, I got them.
That's okay, this is only
What's your
one or
address?
two. Ah, I'm privy.
I want to take revenge.
Don't worry, there's another Q&A. There's still another 3 pages left of other important things now that we're past all this part. So a little bit of what we'll call table etiquette parts coming up here, along with what I will call a beautiful little hero shot in the background. Look at that, that's all they use. That's also the party token. That's the token that's going to move through everything. That's going to be fun. And you can tell I don't know how to use PowerPoint too well, because you can see the shadows. So you know there's a lot here.
Sorry, I can quite hear you.
What do you need me to
Sorry.
repeat?
I love how there's like the left side is gay and dramatic, and the other ones are just very straight and human looking.
That
Mostly.
is weird. None of those look straight. You got
Yeah.
a butch fucking lesbian. You got
Pepsi's wearing a gimp mask.
yeah. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to
mean-
say 3 of these characters look like they belong. in
Vox
Fallout.
is definitely playing up the German ankle with the blonde hair and blue eyes.
True, like,
Angel
yeah,
Annabelle.
no, it's like
Why
a
is one of the
fantasy movie
tieflings like
version
a
action movie. is how
Or
it
film
feels.
detective. What is up with that?
Well,
It's
that's
just, how,
like
it's just how the prompt came out. It was like Indiana Jones-esque. I was like, yep, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's... I guess it's got...
Some LA homicides.
yes.
I'm the muscle.
It's completely
Yes.
juxtaposed. It's great. We're in this huge jungle. Yeah, you see, there was a snake. Yeah. Drags on cigarette.
Yes.
Camera pans up, it goes to black and white. It was a quiet night in Chult. Too quiet.
Exactly.
Actually, it wasn't very quiet at all. There was screechings of bats and monkeys.
He walked into my forest on a rainy night and he needed my help.
So,
His husband had gone missing, and only I was the one that could find him. He didn't want too much attention because you know how it is in Chult.
so here's point about kind of reiterating on everything we've done earlier. A bit of life, because I'm going to be spending most of this thing looking at a big ass roll table and trying to figure out what's going on. You still have plenty of time to be friends, so let's be friends. Or enemies, as Tom has pointed out on numerous occasions. There will be probably many points where it becomes Tiefling versus Aasimar, and what could only be described as a jungle race war. Which is a terrifying concept to think about.
At least we can't call anyone locals here.
Not with that attitude.
Talking about, I was born here. So I've
Here's a terrifying thought. What if we both turn on the same person who is a local?
I mean, at that point there, it's justified, right? That's how the government see it. It was justified, you know? Clearly done something wrong to the visitors. So, here's a question I'm gonna ask, because I'm on the D100s. Like, that makes it sound like I'm on drugs, but like, you're gonna see this thing stuck up here for a lot of the sessions. Like, just a big ass roll table.
Are you supposed to be able to read that?
Yous aren't. I am.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Wait, can you? Or
Yeah, it's just big ass, like, I go like this, I turn over, and I look and I go, okay, that's what that is there. And I turn back round and I'm like, okay, so. But bringing on to it, it's a shit ton of D100s. And there were numerous occasions where in Avernus I did just grab a dice and roll. Are you cool if I just do that for this entire ass fucking roll table? Just grab dice locally and just roll for quickness.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think 3 people here are already used to me doing that.
I don't
Yes.
care if you just pick what you want from it either.
Ah.
I'll be brutally honest on it there. If the user are gonna fight like zombies and then zombies and then zombies,
No, we're not.
you're not fighting 3 sets of zombies. That's boring for all of us.
That feels
Oh,
like
zombie T-Rex.
Especially as we can't handle zombies or we started last came across.
One zombie, 8 rounds
Yeah,
later, and
no.
he's still going.
yes, the one from underneath the bathhouse.
Wait,
I
Wait,
remember.
the zombie has theme music just going, I'm still standing.
It's just doing the Carlton dance as everybody's missing or hitting it, and it gets straight back up.
I get knocked down,
But I get up again. I love that song. Okay. This one I feel is going to be very important because you know I like things kind of by the book.
Oh no.
Not every fight here can be won.
Not put that out, dude.
If a level 1 comes up against the T-Rex, you are but a light snack.
We have Ruby on our side. We can win any fight.
Weaponized
No.
autism doesn't help against T-Rex. Like,
That's because you haven't tried enough weaponized autism.
I'll try my best to, I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, and there's some fucking zombies. Oh, and there's a T-Rex. I'll give you an idea as to what's going on and give you a chance to escape it through skill checks and such. Because the last thing I'm gonna do is, okay, here's a T-Rex. Here's you guys. Roll initiative. What's the first thing you do? You dash as far away as possible in a direction the T-Rex can't find. Oh well, we're done here. Like, not gonna waste your time on that. Not gonna waste my time on that. But death here can literally be the end. And I say that with an awful lot of emphasis here. If you know what's to come. Now,
Can I ask what the difficulty level is of a T-Rex?
I think it's 9, isn't it?
I think it's like 9.
It's less than 10, yeah. Oh, it's somewhere between 7 and 9, I think, something like that.
But like at level 1, I think it does enough damage that it could outright double some of your hit points and just kill you on the spot. At which point there, I will say you're about to find in the most unfair way a great mechanic of this game.
Is it the meat grinder?
No, you've all decided you don't want to do the meat grinder, and that's perfectly fine. So it's going to be standard death save rules. Don't need to worry about that. I did get comments in regards to, especially near the end of Avernus, mainly near the end of Avernus, the last 20 sessions or so, which are currently going up as we speak. Let's just not be main characters. Yeah? You'll get your turn. Okay? Running around screaming about being the main character is going to be a surefire way to annoy everybody. So let's not get into that habit again. It's heroic, but you'll all have your own times to shine, especially near the beginning, because I want to do some stuff prior. Ruby, you'll remember. Oh, actually, you wouldn't. You came in too late. Damn. Nobody will remember the preludes in Dragonlance. But some stuff to get you where you're going, some background stuff, and get you get the groups familiar with the groups before the whole group comes together. Because these personal relationships are fun. They are.
If I remember correctly, my comment on Ruby being the main character was positive.
Oh no, that was fucking hilarious. I was having fun with
Yours
it.
was. Yours was
Yes,
also the only
okay.
positive one. Of many.
Of 6.
People can make multiple complaints. Trust
Okay,
me, I
fair.
work in a call center. I know all about it. Yeah, don't force anything. Don't steal any autonomies or such. Just let things happen naturally. Again, you have so many chances to be veered off course, go the wrong way, and have, I'm going to just say, horrendous shit happen. Like, allow it to happen. Have some fun with it. Transparency and mutual respect. I had something else written in here, and I then sent this to someone and took it out, and I've got it copy and pasted. If something's bothering you, say so. Oh wait, no, I did keep it in there. Yeah, I absolutely refuse to have a rerun of the shit show that ended up in Eve of Ruin. There's a complaints form. There's complaint stuff in the Discord. Any issue, any game, put it in there or come straight to me. Like, I don't want shit festering, because that was the worst 4 weeks of my entire life to date, is sitting there dealing with that. So, everything's in place. Use them if you've got an issue, and we can try and work things out before it escalates to really bad things.
Can I ask
Of course.
a question? During Into Avernus, there were a couple of times when Corby, in particular, was being a thief and nicking stuff, and I was doing that, whispering to Scottish. Is everyone okay with that, or would they prefer that it was said openly?
No,
I honestly prefer it was open because I didn't really care
Said
for
open.
my
Being
thing
BKs,
getting nicked without me knowing.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't remember it ever happening or me noticing, so...
It happened before you joined. It was in session 2, I believe, in the bathhouse, where Rupert was doing something and Corby stole his badge. And then when Rupert tried to produce it a session later, he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Which, I'll say it did lead to one of my favourite clips, is turning around to Quinn and saying, "Incite the birds." Like, just incite a group of pigeons. But, like, you know, if people prefer that, then, you know, we'll keep that open, put it over the table.
I think it's funny. I'm definitely open to it, but
Like, I'm okay with being stolen from. I would just like to be aware of it at minimum, and maybe even have a chance to notice or resist it.
I think me and Tom whispered a lot to each other in Avernus.
Probably.
yeah, actually,
Kind of fruity.
that's a good point. Making like some type of check to see if we notice if something would be stolen, that could be helpful.
Isn't it?
And then we don't have to
It's-
know that something is being stolen if we fail a roll or
It's
something.
just like failed perception. Nothing happened.
It could be like Baldur's Gate, where it's like perception check failed and you don't know what the fuck happened. It's just that you know you failed something.
Yeah.
If
more
people
fun.
are gonna do that, there are systems in place that I have.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'll work when we fully update, mind you, but I'll see. But for most part, I will say if you're sleeping, then like perception checks would be a disadvantage. Or the Tom, I'm
That's
totally
what passive-
interrupting you.
Sorry, that's what.
You go first, man. I said I'm interrupting you.
That's what passive perception is for. It's you roll against that, and it's decided. The reason being is because if you don't know who you're playing with, how do we know everyone's comfortable with playing? Like, so I know so and so's taking this from me, so you're just going to sort of like go after it type thing. But it's one of those things where if you'd rather just say it out loud, that's fine. I don't.
think it's
My
better-
character's not going to do it. Fine.
I think
I
if it's between players, it could be helpful if we at least knew that something happened, regardless of
Yeah.
whether we know what happened or not.
So
I don't see this party like looking down the well for no reason. To reference Evil Rune,
No.
where it was like, oh, this character is now went down the well, and this was described as like a time skip thing, and the party immediately went looking down the well for no reason. Like spent 3 checks on it, and like, I don't think this party will do that.
I'm very curious what that is about.
So
Hags, don't worry.
in Evil Rune, my character ran off and made a deal with hags, and then was told like, oh yeah, go jump down a well, to like get teleported. But this was described with the rest of the party cutting in between of like chasing the hags, and so I was like, okay, I walked away, and then they went looking for me. Then they got described. Oh, you were actually told to jump down the well, and the moment we went back to them, which was like I was already jumped down the well and teleported, they immediately started rolling about 5 checks on that well and nothing else, because all of a sudden the well was interesting.
The well that was
Because
described.
the
The well that was described as blocked up with dead bodies.
Oh, it was
Nice.
described as blocked up with dead bodies. I didn't even realize.
But yeah, for it, we can work on the theft stuff and that. Like, I don't see it coming up. That being said, I didn't see a lot of things in Avernus coming up. That was definitely a game of firsts. A lot of
Yeah, it was
firsts.
the first time, Don't
Never
need to
had
be nervous.
players get married before.
I was about to
Players
say
or
the same thing.
characters.
The characters. Know your sheets and help out. It's, whilst none of us are new players, it's a newish system. There are a few changes that definitely, a few changes that took me by surprise last night, and we just done a single combat with 12 goblins.
They fucking nerfed Twin Spell.
Yeah, we
It's-
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much worse now.
Yeah.
So help each other out. If you've got if you've got a copy of the player's handbook and such, maybe having that with. I'm gonna have the books by my side as we play. So if we need to look up I just say a quick rule. It'll take a week with me, but look it up. The more people looking at it, the easier it is. We help each other out. We learn that way. This wouldn't be here if we were playing 2020. If we were playing 2014, but because we're playing 2024, we'll see how it works out in everybody's favor. I imagine it being quite fun. Tom?
I have something that's come up. I was looking at equipment and particularly ropes and chains, and there are new interactions that you can use with ropes and chains and sort of tying people or things up and resulting tests, but it doesn't anywhere seem to say like length or amount. So I was just sort of letting you as a DM know, like, because if you come across something like that's really big and you're carrying rope or chain, it doesn't still say how much you need to do certain size creatures type thing.
What I will say, just so we have an idea, I'll look into it. I'll set a ruling now, and if I can't find anything different, we'll use that. We'll use 2014's numbered ruling, so I think it's like 10 foot of chain and 50 foot of rope, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
So if I
It's just so I couldn't see anything when I'm reading of length. So.
if I can't find anything in regards to it, we'll just use those because it's numbers we're familiar with.
That's fine.
And push this one here. Got to do like 3 clicks, and then click on here, and then click over here. Click between. So here's some important information. A lot of it, some of it, you might want to write down. The death curse.
Oh,
Now I'll give it a page because you might want to, look at it. So here, this is why I said death could be horrible. If you're resurrected, your hit point maximum will be reduced by 1 every night at midnight, as well as an additional amount equal to the time the Soulmonger, the MacGuffin, has been active. I'm not going to give you that number right now, because it could change. Next on it, any effect that reduces your hit points stacks. Night Hag's Curse Thing plus Soulmonger, if you get taken to 0, bye-bye birdie. You're on a time crunch as well. At the beginning, on session 1, actual session 1, you will be given this time crunch. From there, the time I give you, you have double the long rests. So if I say hyperbolically, you have 10 days, you have 20 long rests. So, I don't know who's good at keeping notes like that, but you're going to be doing a lot of math. Yep.
I have a question immediately
Of course, Bibbs.
about the death curse. If you hit point maximum, the death curse, can it kill you by reducing you to 0 HP maximum?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Can you then still be resurrected? Again. Okay.
Well,
If you pull up that
resurrected.
fucking graph, I will
So-
eat you alive.
So what counts as resurrected as well?
Any resurrection, or is like a specific tier?
try.
Revivify.
If you wish, are you talking about this one here? If you wish to die, because there are people who get tired of the character, and if it dies, wanted to retire, so let me know, because I don't want the party wasting valuable resources.
I have another question.
Of course.
Revivify doesn't state that it resurrects a creature.
That's what I was asking.
Oh.
Resurrection in its broadest sense. Any spell that brings a dying creature back to life. Raise
Yeah.
Dead, True Resurrection, Raise Dead, True
Which-
Resurrection.
If you filled all your death saves, this goes active no matter what happens.
Exactly. And there's a chance that if you fail all your death saves and this happens automatically, and you have the materials, there's a chance that it still doesn't work.
That's fucked up.
And that's when you learn the time number. And that's just the mechanic. And it's the sole mechanic that holds this campaign together. Death and the Death Curse, it can be found on page 6 of the Tomb of Annihilation module. Time and travel, but not time travel. Every hit die spent will be a 1 hour on your short rest. If you burn 10 hit die, you have burnt 10 hours. Time is important here, so you will be weighing those things up. So best to set that precedent now. It's a ruling that I like. Ruby then called out that it's kind of inconsistent. Here it is here. It's the first point on this heading. So
Keep track.
I'll keep rough track of it because it's more so to do with timing of long rests and such. Because technically speaking, you can't benefit from a long rest twice in the same 24-hour period.
I got a quick question.
Of course.
So you said every hit dice spent on a short rest is an hour resting. So if we happen to take a short rest, don't spend any hit die, what happens then?
hour.
Module style classes that as an hour.
Got it. Just making sure.
Yeah,
I have another question.
of course.
If you don't take a long rest, you suffer the consequences.
Yep.
What if you short rest for 8 hours? Does that amount to anything? Or do you still need to take a long rest as well?
Well, the absence of a long rest, the way it's seen, the absence of a long rest is like going without sleep. You can sit in a chair for 8 hours and been up for 24 hours. It's still technically going without sleep. I would say that per the rules of exhaustion, I would certainly be lowering the DC because you've had that sedimentary, I think is the word I'm looking for. You've had that time of recuperation. You just haven't been able to fully rest.
Alright, so then if you spend 10 hit die and then you take a long rest, you're basically 1 day off.
Yeah, but if you need to spend 10 hit die it's just been a case of bad rolls. By the time you're spending 10 hit die, however, I believe you'll have some pretty powerful spells by that point there and mitigate spending 10 hours.
Yeah, but then at that point, it also might just be better to take a long rest instead of a short rest.
Yeah, that's
Always.
between you to discuss when that comes up. That's what we call a roleplay opportunity. Because you should discuss that with each other. If you obviously keep in account your meta on it, like, you know, at this point here, you will be tracking it externally and internally, so it's not really going to be a meta conversation, but it's kind of like a meta conversation that way as well. So don't worry, we can explain it more when we go through it, when and if it comes up. So, per the book, page 38. You move it 1 hex a day in a marching order, so I'll get some stuff set to make a marching order for us. The person in front will be asked to make the checks, but they can delegate checks. That way everybody's kind of doing something. You're essentially creating a leader, but not a group leader, just someone who's good at tracking.
So, like, and then they can designate, hey, you do navigation, hey, you keep out for threats.
Like, hey, you get cartographer's tools, you can make maps. Why don't you do a perception check? Because, you know, you want to make sure you encompass everything on here. Things like that, you know. Good roleplay opportunity is what I say. Because, again, it's fucking Hexcrawl. Yeah? I thought I heard someone trying to jump. Probably Gark, I think.
I would jump.
Right.
What's up?
Is it jumping? Food and water should be tracked.
Are you going to do that?
No, you're going to do that. It's your sheet.
And what if you don't?
Death.
Then I will find out how long it's been since you ate. And you will take the appropriate points of exhaustion. And if that takes you to 10, well...
There's 10 levels of exhaustion in 2020.
Sorry, not 10, 6. It's I don't know why I thought 10. I don't know why I thought 10.
What's the minimum food and drink required for a day?
1 ration, and I think a water skin technically has 3 charges.
Gotcha, thank you.
So, 1 and 1. Essentially, every 3 days you need to worry about drinking.
Is
You also
jungle
have-
river water clean?
There are mechanics in place.
Okay.
Hey.
Don't worry. I wouldn't be implementing these things if I didn't know these mechanics were in place to counteract it.
What about bad mushrooms?
Don't you fucking start.
Ow! Shrew!
So, we're going to go about the books and creatures that we'll be using here. Every creature in the book, barring one that I end up maybe having to homebrew or such, will come from the following books. The module. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Because I remember specifically Tom pointed it out that the creature that just straight up sent Vox to Spectator wouldn't be able to do that in the MPMM version, but in the Modern Canaan's version it could. So the creatures here they may be a little bit stronger than what you were expecting, but yours are also a little bit stronger than the module's expecting, so I'm hoping that balances out quite well. 2014 Monster Manual. Because we don't have a 2024 Monster Manual yet, and it'll take forever for everything to update. So,
Okay.
we'll use those creatures. Tom, you were going to say something there?
No, I was just wondering if you would look to update if it did come out while we're playing. Like
If I could, if we got to a good point where I could,
Yep.
I would, and I'd make you aware.
Cool.
But that also requires me to be able to update, and the last version of D&D on Foundry came out about 3 days ago, and the majority of the community is still using one that came out 4 months ago.
Yeah, cool.
The following other rulebooks will be in play. Handbook 24, Dungeon Master 24, Bigby's, The Book of Many Things, Fizzban's, Tasha's, Xanathar's, and Monsters of the Multiverse.
That's a lot.
It's basically all of the ones that are compatible. It also gives you to use those books. Some of them have decent rules. Some of them have decent monsters, but I like the idea of potentially throwing a bit of chaos in by giving you a deck of cards and hoping for the best. I do. And I don't know why that was just low. So, this is where things get real fun. The following spells are banned. Goodberry, Silvery Barbs, Tiny Hut. Goodberry because it takes the whole survival aspect and just throws it out the window. Silvery Barbs because fuck you, Ruby.
I haven't used it in
And
any.
Tiny Hut because there's an awful lot of survival-esque things in here that would just be completely pointless with Tiny Hut. Like, I played in a Tomb of Annihilation game, and long rests became trivial once we had Tiny Hut.
I do wonder why these books brought up survival mechanics when there are so many spells that can override it so quickly.
Yeah. And I've watched people abuse Goodberry, and I have went through them, and I've had like a 20-minute discussion as to why a human being or any race can't eat 70 Goodberries. Like, you just fucking can't.
I have more questions.
That's why we're here. What's up?
Because 2 spells, maybe 3 come to mind. I forgot about the third. For the short rest bit, what about Catnap? Since you use Sanithars, I can tell you what a spell does if you want me to.
Catnap is if you take, it's like a 10-minute, you get the benefits of a short rest.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. That's 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes where something could go wrong.
Yeah.
And what level is Catnap?
3rd.
3.
But then what about the hit die ruling?
Well, at that point there, the Catnap would overrule your hit die ruling. No, your Catnap would overrule the hit die ruling because you get to take the short rest there. So that would be, I'd say that would be an exception to the rule. Is Catnap's making you feel more rejuvenated. It's a magical rest. You know, what happens in Narnia stays in Narnia.
How many hit die is that worth?
Makes Catnap better. Yeah, it makes Catnap better than it is in normal things. Is it only a one person or is it a group thing?
1.
Yeah.
Man, it's pretty balanced for a survival spell.
Oh no, 3. Sorry. I do have to go, but my other things were rope trick because it's sort of Tiny Hut.
Rope trick only lasts for an hour.
So I really have to go.
On you go. We can discuss it more.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Jokes on
Wait,
Gark.
what about spells like Magnificent Mansion?
Jokes on Gark. This is the final slide. Magnificent Mansion, is that not even higher again?
It's like level
Yeah.
7.
Fair enough. Just making sure.
We're not getting to casting level 7 spells, are we, in this campaign?
We have a wizard, don't we, Ruby?
Yeah.
When do you get to cast level 7 spells?
13?
18th level, 13th something. Yeah, no, it's 17
level?
for 9. So 17 for 9, 15 for 8, 13 for 7.
This goes 1 through 11. You may
I didn't know that.
You may end up with like a 12th level. Because I've looked at the Acererak stat block and I think to myself, God, he's a bitch. So you know, I might throw some extra stuff in there just to make it a more interesting fight. Because I mean, I didn't do anything to Zariel, and that went for like nearly 10 rounds.
I didn't realize this was 1 to 11. You said maybe 12.
Yeah. Simulation 1.
Gotcha.
But we'll see how things go and what I need to throw in for fun. I want to keep it entertaining for you as well. God forbid I do my job.
If there's a time limit, and it's up to 11 or 12 levels, does that mean that actually the amount of levels per in-game day is quite high?
Depends on how many days we get, which we don't know yet.
I would say so, yeah.
It's probably a lot faster than in Avernus.
Yeah. But I would say in Avernus there was definitely an awful lot of time where you were sitting doing nothing. Doing, you know, what would be travel time that could take hours was essentially doing nothing. This one here, every time you move a hex, I roll a d100. Sorry, I roll a d6 and then I roll a d100.
And every hex is also
20%.
Every hex is also 1 day. There is an additional ruling, and the reason I kept this here, there's an additional ruling here that states at the start of each new day, the DM makes a wisdom survival check on behalf of the navigator. The result determines whether the party is going to get lost that day. So I'm not gonna make that check. I will just have someone, you know, the navigator, make that check. I have DCs here as well. There is also there's changes to how certain things go depending upon your travel.
So what I'm hearing is we need a druid.
Too late now.
Or a ranger.
Oh, I'll make a backup character.
Here we go. There are still standardized travel rules. So normally you will traverse 1 hex per day. You can go at a fast pace. At that point there, we roll a d4 and you get -5 to a bunch of things, but you do move an additional hex. Again, that comes with the risk of getting lost.
Was that walking pace?
I believe that is walking pace, yes.
Ah, so we can have other. Or we can try flying again as long as that's okay with me.
There's a lot of things you can do here. That's the thing. The first chapter of this book has a lot of things that you could potentially do. Yep.
What is the type of tree in this jungle?
Wood.
Tropical.
Yeah, but like specific type.
One's made out of wood.
Do I look like a fucking botanist to you, Fox?
Well, it's important to for survival reasons and also for travel reasons potentially. I have a lot of ideas on how to survive and travel in a jungle depending on the type of trees growing there.
You're not like an accountant or something.
Well, here's what Scott should say. That's a great role play thing for you to do.
That's a great thing for me to research.
Great role play thing for you to do.
In terms of your travel, yep, on you go.
Oh, sorry, go.
You first.
I was just going to ask if I want to ask if you wanted to handle this before or when the game starts. But would it be alright if I made purchase of a traveling item before or during the starting session? I guess because the starting equipment didn't allow me to like select individual items. It was one cluster or another, and I was just wondering if I could buy a great crossbow, or what are they called again? Heavy crossbow.
Heavy crossbow.
Yeah.
I don't see why you couldn't have a heavy crossbow.
Okay, just making sure. I will deduct the coin accordingly. Thank you.
For it, again for our good note-taking buddies here, there was the tracking here. If you wish to do it by miles, but it still works on the hex grid, you're doing 10 miles a day. And I think the reason that they are calling it this is because of how weird jungle terrain could be. To answer one that Tom brought up, a creature with a flying speed of 30 travels at 4 miles an hour in the jungle.
Okay.
They put that in there, so Aarakocra have to be the slowest fucking creatures to fly, is all I can say there. There are some weather stuff as well. I don't know how we feel about implementing extreme temperatures with things such as extreme heat and tropical storms. But I imagine it could be fun if that's something we wanted to do. If you want to put me under more stress, by all means. And for that, there isn't really too much else we would require. Most things are just standard player trackings. But we have come to the open forum part of the presentation, where if there's anything additional that people have thought of based off of that, or anything else they wish to bring in, I'll message Gark about the rope trick thing as well. I think rope trick only lasts like an hour, so at most you're spending a third level spell for a D10. Sorry, you're spending a third level spell for a roll of a hit die, which could be, 3 hit points. Does it really trade off there?
Well, it's a third level spell slots for example, a warlock to get back all of the spell slots.
True. It's a third level spell for a warlock to get back all of his spell slots.
But we're not organised enough to have built a whole group based around short or long resting. We've almost done it exactly half and half.
It depends upon our warlock.
Me, Pepsi, and Vex like short rests. The other three prefer long rests.
But use, for say a warlock, rope trick is really good. That's all my spell slots in a safe space. For anybody else, it's like, oh, I got 2 hit points back, guys. That cost me a third level spell. Oh. It's like casting Witch Bolt and getting a 1. But, anything else they wish to bring up, or any other things we wish to discuss in regards to the mechanics, or how things will go, or any clarifications on things, or anything they wish to bring up about their character, or change about their character whilst we're here?
I've come to realize that heavy crossbows are more expensive than I remember. I guess I'm just so used to starting with them. Alright, if I may change my periphery, can I trade my longbow, my case, and the arrows within for the heavy crossbow?
Where are you going to put your arrows?
No, I mean, like, it's basically swapping the stuff I have for my longbow and then trading in for the equivalent of the crossbow.
Oh, you go.
Alright, thank you.
I think a longbow and a heavy crossbow are the same regardless. I think it really is just flavour at that point. I think even if the
there is a mastery difference, but
what's the mastery?
It's the difference between slowing them down and pushing them away.
Oh yeah. In terms of masteries, forgot about those things. It's going to be you're going to need to remember your masteries. I can give you PDFs of sheets, photos for it, but if you forget you've got a mastery that should have went on, and it's going to affect the creature's turn, and the creature's already had its turn, well, that's on you. But, if it's the creature's turn and it says slow, because I think slow reduces its speed by 10 foot. If you go, oh, I hit that with this and this has slow, and, I'll move the creature back 10 foot if I need to. So, that's where that helping each other comes in. Remember.
Also, I'm really looking forward to using all these masteries.
Currently, with your sheets imported, the masteries show up in your features section. So you can go ahead and put that in as a favourites. Once we finally get to update, if I had an update, Tidy Sheet takes care of it all when you click the weapon and it's like, oh, attack, damage, mastery, it's all there. But I refuse to go back to how it was, or how we play Curse of Strahd Ruby. I refuse to go back to that, where just all the damage is aggregate in one go. That's just not fun. Especially when you use Call Lightning, for example, and you just see numerous D12s. Or Sorcerer's Burst and see 12 sets of D8s. And wonder, oh no. But yeah. That is everything I've got.
I was going to say, I noticed something interesting is that all the new 24 items are calculating their cost as 0.2 gold pieces instead of just saying, "Oh, it's this amount of copper." I thought that was interesting to note.
For everybody, I've got enough in an awful lot of characters, I'll say. Vox, Tom, Gart's characters, got a lot there. Ruby, got stuff for your character, a lot there. Quinn confused me, so I'll let you message Quinn and be like, you said this, you've given me this. Is it both of them? Is it one of them? Do I need to blend these? How should I look at your character? Pepsi.
Hmm?
The fuck?
What?
Do you need me for anything, or can I add that?
Unless you've got anything you want to talk to me about, you can jump away if you need. But
Sorry, what did you need something?
all you've given me of your character is they are the muscle.
I mean,
How did you meet? What are your goals and aspirations? Is there anybody in your backstory you should worry about? Have you ran away from an affair? Do you have a child out there that we should know about?
Are your
I mean,
parents
the
still
people's
alive?
backstory are quite literally just Zoriel and Ember.
Or did you just wake up one day in our office like fucking Nick Valentine and be like, I guess I'm a detective now?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, all I have in my head is just his background as mercenary veteran, where he's basically hired to be the muscle.
You could have bad things that have happened in his life. You could have things he's running away from. You've got plenty of time. I don't think we're going to start this until like middle of January. You've got plenty of time to give me some stuff to work with here.
Alright, tell you what. I will try to have something in a week. Feel free to pester me if I don't have anything at the end of next week.
It's just for characterizations and such, Knowing, having an idea of a character's backstory, in my opinion, if I know what your character's backstory is, it means if you turn around and say it's what my character would do, I can look at the backstory and go, yeah, I suppose. But when you give me nothing and say it's what my character would do, I'm forced to go, is it? Because your character's wildly inconsistent.
Okay.
So it's a way for your reasoning as well, and I don't like putting people down in ways, like I had a guy, a paladin, who was like, I can just cure this issue that's going on with a character in a game because you described what they have as a disease, and 5 points of lay on hands cures disease. And I'm like, I forgot about that part. And I felt really bad telling him that he'd spent 5 points of his lay on hands for nothing to happen. So a little something happened because I'm a fucking pushover.
Gotcha. Alright. Real quick, the stuff I did send you, is that in our DMs or is it still in you locked away all of our backstory collaboration?
Backstory collaboration isn't locked.
Where is it?
When you go to... Actually, oh shit, did I delete it? No, if you go to the threads, up at the very top in the general, you'll see your collaboration. It's just been inactive for over 30 days. So, it's gone. But you click it and it'll open back up.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to look at threads because I don't actually... Oh, there it is. Found it. Oh. Okay.
You can see everything you put in there.
Threads. There we go. Found it. Thank you. I will be reviewing what I did put down and adding in what I need to. Alright. Anything else?
And don't let you get anything from me.
No. Thank you for the session 0. I look forward to playing.
Enjoy. I will hopefully be able to start this soon for us all, so we're not all sitting in limbo. But I know Vox got a shit ton of work to do as well, so the later the better for him.
Yeah, the 21st of January is when everything will be done.
Yep.
So if the first session is done, for me that's perfect.
Oh,
also,
are we doing a joint everyone together, or are we doing a split with the two sort of sessions as the first one?
For everybody's session 1. So session 1 and 2 will be short sessions for use. So session 1 maybe about an hour and a half. for the ASMR. Next week it'll be an hour and a half for the Tieflings. But both those hour and a halves will be put together to make a session 1 video.
One episode, okay.
Yeah. So that way there's all this, you can see what you need. But you will be left in the dark enough for about 10 sessions again. So then that way you have figured out some stuff to do with the characters, and if you wish to metagame the fuck out of it, you can. But I did have a thing that I was thinking of, and it relates similarly to how I do things, how I've done things for Ruby, and how I've done things in other campaigns. I had an idea. The funnily weird thing about that idea is it requires one of the three Aasimar to dox themselves. And I would very kindly send you an in-game handout. But I took some stuff that you said, Tom. I'll let you know where I've been working with that. And I now have this idea of how to do things, to implement things for use. And I will say it all relates to asking you all to roll a d6 a little while ago. So, working on that. I'm just working on map and updating the system.
Cool. I just said we're not going to. You're going to be doing the 3 of us and then filming it separately. So we're not like we're going to watch their thing and then they watch us.
You aren't going to sit for an hour. You aren't going to sit for like an hour and a half bored out. You're not watching. Like, it's fine if it's 5-10 minutes with like a weird time skip, people all over the place, but you guys are traveling doing your thing. They'll be traveling doing their thing. So there's no point in being like, oh, you've sat here for half an hour. They sat here for an hour and a half. The session's now going to end, but hey, here's your new party members that just arrived. They'll see yous will see them. Both of your sessions will end like that. The next session will pick up as, like, the
first combat between the groups.
It'll pick up the very second you just walk into a room. And from there, it will all go forth. And if it comes to blows, it comes to blows. But I'm hoping it doesn't. Hoping and praying. Hopefully we can all get along.
We can do. Yeah, Tom, go first.
No.
Okay, well, I was just going to make a joke. You could do that session on the 31st. That's a Tuesday. Playing into the new year.
I personally don't like running big things like that, like one-shots and such, and that's fine in my opinion. But running for a whole session for like a mainline campaign, I'd rather you be enjoying your time with your family than having any commitments. Like, I won't be spending it with my family, but like, New Year's, Christmas, I don't have kids. I am 30. I'm too old for Christmas or New Year. It's just a fucking Wednesday for me.
On that, have a good Christmas, New Year, stress-free, everything like that. And I will see you in the New Year, probably.
I'll see you in the New Year, unless you want to run another weird and wonderful Theatre of the Mind one-shot.
I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be sleeping in about
hungover.
Something like that. Yeah. Right, okay. Okay, guys.
Catch you a bit, man. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye.
What? I can just stop this.